Welcome back to Collected Thought. Today's episode is organized by project, not by tool. The thing about projects is they have many different files associated. So the first thing you do is you typically research something, say this soup. It's very easy to just left click on the image, drag and drop it in. No copy and paste, nothing in your way. You'll notice that if you double click this image right now, we can click image source. We see the image source. We can bring the from URL. It takes us back to the original page. So even if this was closed, it would take us back to the original page. And finally, where it was pointing to. So you'll notice same link here. So given that we have this image of a soup, let's go to where it was pointing and get the text, the recipe, or whatever else corresponds to the link that you have in your research log. Highlight the text with a left drag. Just drag it over onto the document space in Collected Thought. There it is. You'll notice it's a whole text block of everything you had. Now, since you drug the image of the soup from a website, it's already a container. So just drop the text over it with a left click, drag and drop, and simply double click to open sublist window that says show me the contents of this container, and there's the text that corresponds to your original source. So again, images link back, but so does text that doesn't even have links in it. So no longer will you be losing information. If it's available, we gather it for you. As with any project, you might have document linking to the web, but you often have documents on your machine as well. So here we'll show linking to a local resource. You just grab the document from Explorer and drag it over. Now, no longer do you need to go to Explorer, just double click the document and it fires up the applicable program, in this case Word. And there is another recipe for halibut. Say you don't like that the linked text here is that large. So any object within our Collected Thought document space has a detail edit that you can bring up. And under detail edit is everything that applies to that object. In this case, what I want to get at is this text right here. Shorten that, take the end off there, and now, the hit of enter, we have a link that just says Thai halibut. And again, we can drop it in on our soup so that we have it in our recipe container right there. Say instead of browsing to find a file in the operating system, you'd like to just find it within an application and collect it into your project. So in this case, we just use the dialog within Word or any other application, find the file, and drag it over. This just drags over a link to the file, just as the last recipe one. Just like with the text on the web, you can also select and drag over text from a document, and it maintains the link back as well. Now let's discuss navigation via the wheel. You can roll forward to zoom in, and it zooms in or out around the cursor, and roll back to zoom out. Holding down the wheel pans gets you around the document. No scroll bars here. Right clicking, going to zoom extents, shows you the entire space of the document. This is all standard navigation in the CAD world. So you want to move a window, but you'd like to see what's under it. So with our system, every time you select a window to be moved, it goes translucent so that you can see what you're positioning over. Let's go over resize. Bring up the circular menu via right click, go to the object menu, and resize. Now you can grab from the center resize and drag out or in depending on which way you want to size it. You can always just left click and drag it around. I'm sure you've noticed our circular menu on right click. It comes up wherever the cursor is, so you're never far from the tool that you'd like. In this case, I want to go to the object menu and select detail edit. This brings up a list of everything associated with the object that I was over. And this is useful for changing links, adding scripts, or any other things that you'd like to manipulate. Now let's discuss containers. You've seen our closed container, the soup bowl. And we can make anything a container, including this gradient. Just grab it, drag it over, make container object. Now, that gradient is a box. It contains this. Or, you can even take the parrot into the gradient and drop it on it. Say you don't want the parrot in the gradient anymore. Let's just drag it out. It's as simple as that. The other container that CollectedThought has is an open container. You can access it from this toolbar. Left click, drag it out, and you have it. Now let's make it bigger. So right click to bring up the circular menu, object menu, resize, and I'm going to do a corner resize this time. There's your open container. Consider it a plate. Let's use the parrot again. Drag it over the window to bring up the window. Drop it on. Now that the parrot's on the container, if you move the container, the parrot moves with it. Same with this. The parrot moves with it. To take something away from the container, though, you simply drag the object. That time I drug it into a closed container, and it's off. As you'll see, it's off. That's it. And there's the parrot again. From that closed container, back to the open container. That's the basic containment system in CollectedThought. On to something everyone's done before. Screen and region capture. So let's launch a PDF and say I'd like to grab this symbol. So Control-Shift-C brings up our crosshair selector, and it looks like I could use some zooming. So page up allows you to zoom in, page down, zoom out to get right on the dot. And you can also use the arrow keys and enter so that you don't have any shifts from the mouse. Now that's on the clipboard. From here I can put it into CollectedThought. Just left click and it already resizes. So I like it about there. And move it around and drop it in the container. Why not? The form of tool we have is a drop target. What this is used for is to apply changes to something that's dropped on it. So say I like the green of this button, and I'd like to apply it to the red button. I drop the green button onto the color cube while holding shift to swipe the color. Now I drag the red button onto the color cube not holding shift, and it applies the color. If you'd like to share this document with a friend, you can simply email the document from within CollectedThought. You're going to need to attach the document within an email. Just send it directly. So easily drag links in from the desktop and even initiate media playing. Well, you can't hear it, but the parrot just squawked.